Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin and I work as a technical consultant at BISP Solutions. And BISP Solution is a tech company that provides technological solutions across the world. So friends, this is our third webinar in the series of data migration. So we are this is our third video. This is our third webinar. Now in this webinar I am going to show you that how once the data is done and it is uploaded, right, then how we will match with the VLOOKUP. Actually that's a very small process, so I will explain you that. It's not a very complex task, but yes, before that let's have a quick recap, because many of you might be joining today only, so those who could not attend yesterday and day before yesterday webinar, so let's have a quick recap. So what we are going to do in this, let me give you the overview that our target is to migrate the data from QuickBooks to Fusion. Now why this is required? Because a certain client is using QuickBooks for the last few years, but now they want to switch. Now why they are requiring to switch, we are not going into that. In this webinar we will be covering how data is migrated, right? So how data is migrated, that will be our main focus. Okay, now definitely when a client is migrating from one application to another, so definitely there might be some limitations. Just a second. Okay, so there might be some limitations in the previous system, so that is why they are requiring to move into the new ERP system. Okay, so now why migration is required? Okay, so why migration is required? Because same thing, how we will do the migration. Our main focus is how we will do the migration. So let's take this example. This is your source system QB. So the client is using the QB, that is a QuickBooks, for the last few years, and now they want to. So now there are two methodologies of data migration. One is lift and shift methodology. So let me explain you that. Lift and shift. Now lift and shift means pull the data and push as it is. So this is called lift and shift. When you are 100% sure that just the headers are the same, headers they want the same in QuickBooks, for example address 1 of the supplier, and here also in Fusion address 1 for the supplier, both the headers are same. In that case we will use a methodology lift and shift. And the second methodology is transform and shift. Pull the data, transform it as per the target system, that is Fusion, and then shift the data. So in this webinar we are going to target this second methodology, method 2. And why this is most important? Because lift and shift is quite easier. Just you need to download the CSV sheet or the Excel sheet and then just upload into the Fusion. But here in second method, what we are going to do, we will first pull the data. So here there is for every task there is a steps. So what we will do here, we will pull the data. Just a second. Pull the data. then transform the data. Here we will write down transform the data. Okay. Then shift to the data. But before this, in the middle there is one stage, that is staging area. Now what is staging area? Now see here, staging area means exactly the place where the data is kept, because the place where data is manufactured or where the data is extracted, you can't tamper that source data. Suppose if I am a consultant and the client will not allow me to insert and work in their database of QB, what they will say, okay, wait, we will give you the Excel sheet of the QB and then you pull that QB Excel sheet and then you can work on it. So that is called staging area. It's an intermediate place where the data is kept temporarily. Then processing area. Then we will go for processing area. Here it is, processing area. Processing area. Now here is a place where you will do all your activities, whether it could be data cleaning, data massaging, data validation, everything, each and everything will be done in this area. Then the next step will be final staging area. Let's increase this. Okay, final staging area. Let's come here, final staging area. Okay, then now final staging area is received. Now our first task is take few records, as we discussed earlier also. Take 2 records because that is the correct practice. Take 2 records from that Excel sheet, upload that Excel sheet and then match it manually, because matching manually 2 records, that is quite easy. But if you upload hundreds of records in one attempt, then it would be very difficult to cross check that what data is missing. So that is why final staging area and then upload the data. Uploading the data. First with 2 records and then all records. Okay, so this is called the complete migration process, that what we are doing. It is just inspired from our day-to-day routine, right? So it is inspired from our day-to-day routine. For example, a cook, he cooks the food in the kitchen, but he will not allow anyone to have dinner in the kitchen area. What he will do, he will put all the cooked food into a dining table, and then from there you can take the food into your plates and then you can consume it. So same thing is here. Pulling the data from source, that is the process. They will put the data into the staging area and then from here you can pull the data. Nobody will allow you to interfere directly in their QB database. So that is, and this practice is used in every migration process. Whether you are migrating data from one application to Fusion or Fusion to any other application, this is the standard procedure that you have to follow. Okay. So let's again go to the Excel sheet, sorry, PPT. Now see here, QB, you will ask your customer, client, that please provide us the Excel sheet. Now, before that, let me explain you, there is a sequence of doing this process. What sequence? First of all, you need to implement the GL, then master records, then dependent records, then transaction records. So that's the complete process. Now, for example, if you ask your client that please provide us the Excel sheet of let's take vendor example, right? Supplier example. It's a master record supplier data sheet. Now, definitely there might be different sheets. For example, if I ask the QB client that okay, please provide us the information of supplier. So what he will do, he will provide me 5 sheets. Let's take an example, because their system gives the output in this way only. So we will first take all the Excel sheets from the QB. Then we will be having in hand all the headers of suppliers that we want into the target system. See, at the time of information gathering or at the time of very first meeting with the client, we will make this thing clear that okay, whatever the headers that you are using in QB, do you want the same header names in the target system? If they say yes, okay. For example, in QB they are using ADDR1, address 1. But if they say that no, we want different names, we want to make things much better. So we will be having all the header names in a separate file as per the new requirement that is in Fusion. Then what we will do, now we are having the data Excel sheet, right? So what we will do, we will do a mapping, we will do replace of headers, but it will not be done manually, it will be done through scripting. So for that you have to ask your developer that please replace all these headers. So what he will say that okay, provide me the mapping sheet. When you will say your developer that please we want to replace all these old headers with the new headers as according to the Fusion. So what he will say, okay, give me mapping file. So how does mapping file looks like? Let me show you. Mapping file, here it is, mapping file. Okay, here is mapping file. And then we will tell the developer that yeah, in QB ADDR1 was used, in Fusion address line 2, address line 1 is used. So you have to make these things sure that all the headers should be changed at the time of when we upload the Excel sheet. So we will have to make this thing clear to the developer. Correct? Now let's again see. Okay, mapping is done. Now new output file. Now new output file is created. Now new output file is created means in this point, at this point of time here. Just a second. Here at this point of time, scripting is done. This. Here scripting is done at the middle. And then after that, this ADDR1 will be changed into the address 1. That final output of the sheet would be such that all the headers you will see will be changed. That will be according to your Fusion, and all the data that remains the same. Now there are different things. Suppose if your client says that yeah, we have entered some special characters also at the time of working, because not all the employees are that much aware of this thing. They can enter anything like just have a look here. For example, behind the Swiss bank square, and then underscore, then asterisk, and then 2290, house number 2290. This type of address is written. Now the client says that we want to remove all this. Now we want to remove all this. That's the main task of data scientist. What he has to do? He will have to remove all those unnecessary data. So that's complex thing. Then now see here, source QB, okay, final sheet in the staging area. As I have already explained you here, see final staging area. So final staging area, we have reached up to this. First of all, what the developer of the client says, yeah, okay, I will provide you the Excel sheet. Then he has put all the files into the staging area. After that, we pulled these files from the staging area. We processed. Process means scripting part. Once the file is done, after that, this complete file is inserted into the staging area. Then from here we will directly upload these files into the Fusion. So this is the complete process. Now see here, and then here we come to the scripting part. Now from here we will see how this validation is done. See, validation is done. Now there might be many types of validations. For example, you might be asked to check that whether all the headers are imported successfully. Now basically it is done by the developer, that he should be able to create the log files. His scripting should be able to create the log files. That how many files are uploaded, how many files are rejected, and total how many files are successful, how many files are not successful. All these things should be registered under one log file. So this is all things. Now if suppose if you want to check the headers also, suppose there is one script that is not written for checking the headers. So in that case, what you will do? Here we comes, okay. Now here we comes, see here. This is sheet 5, yes. Okay. We hide this, yes. Now see here. We have given let me insert one more column here, top here, fields, and then status, yes. Now this fields means these are the fields that comes from. Now once you upload the before uploading I am talking that before uploading you need to check first. Now how do you check? See, final Excel sheet is given to you. Your developer has given you the final Excel sheet that is ready to upload. But before that you need to check first. So what you will do, what I will do here, I have copied all the columns with the help of transpose, and then I have copied all the headers from the main file, and then I will apply a VLOOKUP file, VLOOKUP. So now in this VLOOKUP, what we will do, we will put the VLOOKUP and we will check whether each and every header is entered here. So if it says yes, then it's fine. Otherwise we will give the details. For example, let me show you any if there is any not available. If I show you, I have taken one example here. Like this. If it is not available, for example, if the Excel sheet says that the acknowledgement within days is not available in the final output file, that means our one header is missing. So we can provide them, okay, please provide us the headers. So basically the process is headers available, right? Our process would be data and then filter, okay. I want to see only not available. So only these two things not available. So in that case, I will ask the developer and the client that why these two headers are not there. So again the developer will work on it and then he will explain. So this is called validation part. Developer has written your code, that is fine, but you have to do it first manually. You have to check that whether the data is coming correctly. For this, log files are very important. Okay, and then now there are many techniques that you need to check. For example, vendor details the client has given us, and what according to our developer we have executed the code. So let me show you with example. New Outlook file. Okay, let's take this. Okay, so now you can see here, this is the sheet that is given by the QB. Okay, now this is the sheet that is given by QB, and if I hit this button, customize tab, go to here, QB vendor. Just a second. Yes, here it is. Let me QB vendor. See here. Now what we will do first, we will take all the headers. Before uploading it, what we will do, we will take all the headers and we will cross check. Control C, and then we come here, and then Control paste values only. Oh, no, wait. We have to do it transpose. Yeah. Now see here, supplier name, address line 1, address line fax, all these things are coming. Now what we will do, we will put a yes in column B, and then these are the fields which are from Fusion. So what we will do, we will apply a VLOOKUP. See this batch ID, and then check this with this output. Where is that batch ID? Somewhere in the batch ID there is there, right? Here is batch ID. So it will check all, and when you will see this yes, all these in the column B, in that case that means all the headers are successfully replaced in the final output file. And as we have discussed that here, when the data, if the data having no special characters and they are sure about that, so we don't need to put all those formulas here. Now see, all the emails are properly written here, right? So it is the responsibility for the client company that they should provide the accurate and correct full data. We don't want the massaged data, we will do it for them, but we want accurate data and whole data, right? So we will apply the code here. Now I will show you the exactly code also, and then this is what VLOOKUP I was talking about at the beginning, that with the help of VLOOKUP, now see, VLOOKUP is a very powerful formula that with the help of that you can easily check what data was uploading exactly what data is uploaded and what data is missing. So normally in every migration process, you have to do this practice almost for every master files. First of all, whatever the final output file is generated by the developer, first of all you need to check that how many records are successfully available in the final output sheet. So this is the best technique, that VLOOKUP. Apply the VLOOKUP. In one column you have to put your target system headers, and then in the another column you have to put the source system, and then check both. Right? In the next column you have to put the headers from final Excel sheet, and then check it both, and if it comes yes, then you are good to go. Right now we have not uploaded yet. Okay, so now you will upload the data, and once it is uploaded, then you will find the errors also. So what type of possible errors that you will get? So what type of possible errors that you will get is, for example, vendor name, right? Vendor name not available, all these things. Then now comes the term ticketing, right? Now what is ticketing? Here we are, I am introducing you about ticketing system. See, once you have uploaded the data, then we will see that exactly what data is missing here, and if everything is uploaded, then there is no problem, migration process is done successfully. But once we have uploaded the data, we will ask the client to do it by themselves, and whatever they will upload, so we will provide them the status Excel sheet, and they will in this status Excel sheet, see, validation Excel sheet is there. So in that validation Excel sheet you can prepare your own format as per the requirement. In that validation Excel sheet, whatever the data is uploaded, you have to just check, and if whatever the error coming, you have to note down those errors. For example, in my project we used to create like this, here, like error 1. In error 1 what will happen? Like error 1, vendor name not available, right? Then item name missing, right? So these are the errors. So these types of errors, functional consultant will log everything in a Excel sheet, and then functional consultant will communicate with the technical consultant that see what things are coming here. So again the technical consultant will check it out, and then that technical consultant will hand over the complete data into the Fusion. So in this way, in the templates, now see, in every procedure, whether it is a data massaging procedure or information gathering procedure, there should be a documentation process. The documentation process is most required in every stage. Clear? Okay. And after that, once you upload this, then check data with few records. Where is that? Here. Check data with few records, with 2 records, and then all records. This is what the standard practice is suggesting. So you have to follow the standard practice, because standard practice might take a little bit time. For example, the developers, those who are developers, they are not interested in documentation process, but this process is as important as coding. Okay, so now you have to follow all these procedures, and then see here, final sheet is ready to upload the data. Okay, Now there is one more point. Final sheet is ready to upload the data. Just validate one or two records and then upload the data. Now many times whatever the client has suggested or client has considered, you have to make him understand that yeah, these things are showing this in this way, so you can, because in one of my project the external ID was something different from with there, so they have resolved it, but they have to explain, we have resolved it, but we have to explain that thing into the client also. So that is why you should be able to explain the client that exactly what thing is going on, not exactly the code but the process. So you have to follow the process. Now here comes, let me show you. Now see, in one process, so far we have discussed that how Excel sheet is created and then how Excel sheet data is pulled up, and then we drain the water, and then let's see here, functional design document. So all these things are shown in the functional design document, how data is captured. And then let me show you one more thing, the main technical part here. The main technical part comes here, not this here. Okay, I remove this. Okay, let me do it in front of you, then you can understand it in a better way. And here is the exact code here. Let me show you that also. Vendor, here comes. Let's see here. Okay, let's hit the button first. Now how this is done? We will see this here. First of all, vendor, see here, vendor.py. See, this is done with the help of scripting. Now scripting means what exactly? Python scripting. So Python files are having the extension .py, right? And these commands are written in py file, and this py file is executed in command prompt. Now in command manage the file name vendor.py, right? So with the help of that command, and it is run in the command prompt. So whenever we hit this button, let's see here, whenever we hit this button, customize tab, this, so one backend process is executed. Let me show you that. This code is a standard code. You just need to change the Python path in your laptop, in your Excel sheet, and then it will successfully run. Now command prompt, it will execute the command prompt, then Python path will be taken, and then the fulfill. This is a standard script of macro, correct? Now here when this file is executed, you will see workbook count. If workbook count is greater than 0, that means first of all it will pull all the count. It will count all the rows, how many rows are there, and then one by one it will check it out. Then df pandas.read excel. Now read excel means it's a pandas command, that pd.read excel. Read excel means it will read all the final Excel sheet which is finally prepared after the data massaging. So this file is right now it is having some unnecessary and meaningless data. So it will read all the Excel and then it will check it out. After that, you will see here it will replace all the names. That is what our target is. It will replace all the names and then it will, these are the names which are additionally added into the system, and then new output XLSX. So new file will be written. So this was all about this thing, and so that is why it's a time consuming, but it's a one-time process. It's a one-time process. So that is why no need to worry about time, because you have to upload the COA, chart of accounts and all, then you have to upload the master files, then the transactional data, all these things you have to follow. So if you understand the complete process, then it will be much better for you to understand the process, right? Then what we will do? Then we will validate the data with the help of this VLOOKUP. Now with the VLOOKUP, what we will do? Now you can do one more thing. You can do here, what you can do here, this is the vendor file, okay? This chatterbox technologies and all these things, you can copy this here like this. Let's take here another sheet and then we paste it. What happened here? Okay, Control C, email here. Okay, let's enter one more. Okay, email, and then you can pull the email from the you can just, oh no, we are just uploading, so you can just check it out whether there is any special characters, and if it is okay, then you have to upload all the data. Suppose here there is a blank cell, so this blank cell is not acceptable. Suppose if the client says that yeah, no, we don't want any customer to be uploaded without any email. So in that case, you have to check it out whether how many blank cells are there. Correct. So now if I add here blank, only one record is there which is having no email ID, otherwise every record is okay. So we have to show it to the functional consultant as well as the client also. Correct. So now in this today's session, what we have, since from the first session, this is our third session. So in these 3 webinars, we have already gone through each and every step of data migration, whether it is functional or technical, both, right? Both aspects we have seen. And in our next webinar, that is tomorrow, I will show you how the documentations are done. I will show you the template also, because many times in a project, if your client says that we need this template for that purpose, so you don't need to search on internet, you just think about it and then prepare as per your requirement. So in our next session we will see the documentation part. Now the technical part is we have already covered in our last 3 sessions. Technical and functional, both the parts are completed. The process flow I have already shown you in my very first webinar. Here is the process flow. Where is that? Just a second. It's a BRD, just a second. It's not that. PDF, let me open that. Okay. Here it is. We have already seen this, that first of all download all these things, but the main thing is that you have to use all your skills, whether it is a Excel sheet skill or any type of other, but this documentation is most important. And then during that implementation you have to use the Excel sheet also to check whether the data is missing or not. So each and everything is checked here before uploading, and once it is uploaded, then also it is checked and approval taken to be taken from the client. And once client says yes, okay, in that case we can prepare the final document that yes, your migration is completed, please give us the sign off. So in our next 2 webinars we will check it out that how the documentations are done, how they are maintained, because the documentation plays important role in every project, correct? So guys, if you face any difficulty, you can put it into the comment box. I will resolve them. And first let's have a quick recap example of let's take an example that we are migrating vendor file. Now first we will extract the Excel file of vendor from source and put it into staging area. Then we will extract headers, and then we will again put data of source into new file and then replace the headers with the help of scripting. And then here either we can use the programming language or macro, it is up to you, or the availability of the programmer or the macro developer. And then we will create a button in the Excel and then hit that button, then our code will be executed. So this was all about the complete migration process. And in our next webinar we will see how documentation is done, because documentation is very important. If you learn each and everything, but if you don't know the documentation part, so that might be that will create a problem for you. So I recommend you to watch the next webinar also, in which we will see the documentation part, correct? Okay, thank you guys, thanks for watching the video. Thank you.